Australia hasn't had a referendum since back in 1999. For voters, it's a simple exercise, right? Yes or no. But determining which side is leading early on in the count is a different exercise to our normal federal elections. Let's bring in now my colleague, Tom Connell. Tom, I know you've been frantically getting organised for our coverage this weekend. Just take us through some of the facts and figures that are going to determine this referendum.
We've got the yes side clearly trailing in the polls, so if an upset's going to happen, you'd assume it will be squeaking over the line. The history of referendums is not kind in that regard. We all know the overall numbers. Only 8 have been successful out of 44. How those successful have been 8, though, is quite interesting. 7 of those cases, I should say, were 6-0. 6 states saying yes, 0 saying no. And the other one that was successful, 5-1. So it's been a thumping when it's been a yes case. There is also usually quite a high overall national vote when we look at that. The lowest winning vote on a national total was actually 54.39%. There was one anomaly. There was actually a 62% that was a national vote yes, but overall the referendum failed on the states. I'm not getting 4 out of the 6 states at least. That's because New South Wales voted yes in a big way. There are some close referendums, though, that do give the yes case some hope that they're going to squeak over the line. We've had 10 very close ones where the national vote's been between 49 and 51 and the states are locked 3-all, and the 4th state, so if there was going to be 4-2 towards the yes side, was 48% plus. In other words, it wouldn't have taken much in all 10 of those for the yes case to win. So theoretically a close result and a yes is possible. It just hasn't happened before. So how are we going to track who's winning? It is going to be faster. It's just yes or no. So you don't have to go through preferences, the AEC when they're counting them, a quicker result. Early votes will favour no, those smaller booths in some of the regional areas in particular. Bigger city booths, when they come in, they'll favour yes. So watch that trend in the counting through the night. Pre-poll and postal. Pre-poll will swing a little bit towards coalition, we know that, and that's probably no. And postal will swing strongly towards coalition, and we think no as well. Absent votes have traditionally swung Labor. They'll probably swing a little bit towards the yes side, but it's not as an exact science. We're not matching this up exactly with a normal election. So what about that element as well? This is not the normal federal election. How do we consider who's going to win it as a result? The swing in each booth in a federal election is crucial. We have a match swing, so we know early on how did Labor do last time, how are they doing this time, and you can determine the winner. Why are you doing that? You're getting the same group of voters that voted in the last one, so we compared that 2019 to 2022, and you said, how are these voters going this time? Who's changing their mind? This indicates in a normal election who's winning the seat, as well as who's winning the overall national two-party preferred. So that's relatively easy in these federal elections. In 2019, we had that 2PP for the coalition of 51.53%. In 2022, we took that, we looked at the swing, and we were saying through the night, here's how big the swing is. It was about 3.5%. Here's the seats the coalition is going to lose. So that's what we normally do. We're not going to do that this time around, but we can use these figures to indicate what's going to happen. Why is that? Because Labor and the Greens are essentially supporting this. All the MPs are supporting the yes case. The coalition is mainly supporting no. And also the independent voters are going along the lines you'd expect. In other words, it's going to feel a lot like that federal election. And we can use that national vote from 2022 as the 2PP as a sort of marker on how the yes and the no case are going, and use the states ones as well. Now, this is just mainly for ALP versus coalition seats and booths. It's a not exact match. It's not going to be as precise as we normally can be, but it's the best thing we can use. So what does that mean the scoreboard is set at right now when we look at those two-party preferred numbers and how they're going to play out, what sort of swings we're looking at? Nationally, this is all Labor figures at the moment, 52.13. So if we're seeing much of a swing nationally and Labor's going to get lower than that, it's really hard for them to win that national vote, which they have to win to get this referendum. And then we break it down into states. You can see instantly why Queensland is going to be a problem at 45.95%. So even if it's tracking along the normal sort of vote there, it's headed for defeat in Queensland. And then you go through a slight victory in New South Wales last time for Labor, a bigger one in Victoria. But this is what we're going to do on the night. We're going to see what's the swing like in New South Wales, what's the swing like in Victoria. Not a true swing, but it's the best thing we can do. It's the best way to sort of match up what's happening on the night versus the last election we had of any type, 2022. It's too far to go back to 1999, and it's not the same question being asked. So that's how we're going to be applying things on the night. What about these states and how big they are? As we can see, and we've heard a lot about New South Wales and Victoria being the two biggest states, 31 and 25% of the population. But what about a scenario where they just squeak over the line at maybe 51 to 49 to the yes case? Does that mean they can carry the nation, given how big they are? Well, don't forget Queensland. You saw on the previous page that 45.95% element. And the problem for the yes case is if Queensland goes at 55-45 to no, that actually cancels out, more than cancels out, a 51-49 result in Victoria and New South Wales, for example. So whilst we always talk about New South Wales and Victoria being the big states, don't forget about the size and impact Queensland will have, given we're fairly certain from the polling it will have a strong no vote. As for another couple of factors we're looking at in this particular referendum, we've heard a lot about young voters are more likely to support compared to old voters. The problem is 18 to 34 make up 26% of voters, 60 plus, 32.5%. So even if they split evenly, which it doesn't look like they'll do at the moment, that would still have the yes case starting behind if things split in that particular well. Another thing to watch out as well is pre-poll. So this has been a really significant increase in the number of voters doing pre-poll over many years. Back in the 1999 referendum, 5.3%. The last federal election, 32.2%. These are bigger booths. They take longer to count on the night as well, and they tend to favour the coalition slightly compared to the on-the-day vote. So if things are somehow going much better than we expect, we have the yes case slightly ahead. Do wait for that pre-poll to come in. That could correct things somewhat and put yes from in front to behind.
Okay, a taste there, Tom. Thank you of what we can expect to see on Saturday evening. Full coverage, as you would expect, here on Sky News. Tom, thank you.